Cameron Frazier.
Fred Huntley. David Bridges. John Chancellor. Tom Brokaw.
Tonight, the schoolhouse shooting in Amish country. A gunman bursts into a one-room schoolhouse. An update on the death toll tonight and what was behind such a shattering event in such a peaceful place. More fallout from the Foley congressional page scandal. How will it affect the Republicans' chances of holding on to the House? Who's in denial? The White House disputes Bob Woodward's new book, but he backs it up with documents. And our special series, The Homefront. A small town welcomes its soldiers home from war. Amid the joy, there are reminders of the price they paid.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening. The Amish in America have somehow been able to live in this country for well over 200 years and live their way without what they see as the influences of modern American society, like cars or telephones or television. But this morning, a terrible aspect of modern American society visited them. The old-fashioned atmosphere of an Amish one-room schoolhouse was completely shattered this morning when a deeply troubled man walked in, started making threats and taking lives, eventually including his own. And while a lot of our news here tonight has to do with the threats on our children these days, it has become an unavoidable part of our times. We begin our reporting tonight outside Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And to start us off, here is NBC's Rahema Ellis. Rahema, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. People here are coming to grips with the tragedy that happened in the tiny schoolhouse down the road behind me. Here is what we know. 4 people are dead, 2 of them students, 1 a teacher's aide who is herself a teenager, and the gunman, police say he killed himself. Authorities say 8 children were taken to nearby hospitals, and they say they are in very grave condition. In the peaceful Amish community of horse-drawn carriages and farmland, crime is rare, this crime unimaginable. There was no place to hide for the 26 children in this one-room schoolhouse.
It's a horrendous crime scene.
Police say shortly before 10 o'clock this morning, a man armed with a handgun and a shotgun walked into the Nickel Mines Amish school for 6 to 13-year-olds.
He apparently told the kids to line up in front of the blackboard. At that moment, he began to tie the females, the children's feet together.
Police say he let the 15 boys and some of the women leave. A teacher was able to get out and called 911. But when the police arrived 9 minutes later, they had no time to negotiate. The gunman who barricaded himself in started shooting, killing 3, wounding several before turning the gun on himself.
It appears that when he began shooting the victims, these victims were shot execution style in the head.
The gunman is identified as 32-year-old Charles Carl Roberts IV, a married father of 3, a milk truck driver who lived nearby. He is not believed to be Amish. Police say he left suicide notes for his family and called his wife once he took the school children hostage. A family spokesman read a statement from Roberts' wife.
Our lives are shattered, and we grieve for the innocence and lives that were lost today.
Hours after the shooting, police walked to the nearby field in a line, searching for children who might have escaped the violence to hide in the familiar fields. No children were found in the fields. As for motive, that is uncertain. But authorities say this apparently was the result of a grudge Roberts held for 20 years, but not against the Amish. So far, police are calling this a crime of convenience, saying it was close to his home and the school was not secured. Police are also saying they are finding lots of evidence that Roberts was planning this for a long time, and he was planning a long siege. Brian?
All right, Rahema Ellis in rural Pennsylvania for us tonight. Rahema, thank you for that. And take a good look at this picture behind us here. At one point today, our cameras caught this scene, horses and buggies parked alongside cars, and that is the struggle of Amish country, trying to stay true to who they are despite outside pressures, and now despite tragedy. We'll have a look at the impact of all of this on them tonight from NBC's Ron Allen, who was also at the scene.
Some 18,000 Amish live in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, the oldest community in the country, devout Christians. A community that values family, humility, and separation from the outside world. Dwylan Byler is a father from a nearby town who knows several of the families with children at the school.
There's really no rhyme or reason for it, but that's true of a lot of the evil that's going on in our world today. It's part of the world we live in.
And you're a part of that world, obviously.
That's right.
They are farmers, painters, masons. Most women take care of home. A self-reliant community with few modern conveniences. Their schools and churches form the bedrock of very tightly knit communities. Tom Schachtman is an author who has written extensively about Amish youth.
This is really terrifying to them because they like to think that they are somewhat out of the world, somewhat protected from the world. And here the outside world is just flooded in the worst possible way.
Local customs here also made spreading word of the disaster more difficult. Most people here don't have phones readily available, so some non-Amish neighbors helped out by driving messengers around in cars. Their lifestyle is plain, their manners modest, and as always reserved and pulling together as a community as they endure unspeakable grief. Ron Allen, NBC News, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
And now to Washington and the other major story making headlines tonight, the Mark Foley congressional page scandal and the Republican leadership's attempts to control the damage. House Speaker Dennis Hastert was front and center in the effort today, but a lot of critics on both sides of the political aisle said they weren't satisfied. NBC News correspondent Chip Reed on Capitol Hill in Washington for us tonight. Chip, good evening.
Well, good evening, Brian. The FBI is now investigating the Foley scandal, and here on Capitol Hill, both parties are calling for a wide-ranging investigation.
How we doing?
On Capitol Hill, a frenzy of finger-pointing over who knew what when. Democrats accusing Republicans of a cover-up, Republican Speaker Dennis Hastert denying any prior knowledge of Mark Foley's sexually explicit messages.
No one in the Republican leadership, nor Congressman Shimkus, saw those messages.
The question, though, was he aware of less explicit emails in which Foley asked a former page his age and requested a photo? Last week, Hastert said no, but other Republicans said Hastert was told about those emails months ago. At today's news conference, Hastert refused to take questions.
Mr. Speaker, when was your staff aware?
But later sat down with NBC News.
I don't recall anybody telling me about him.
All this follows Foley's decision to check into rehab this past weekend in a letter stating, "I strongly believe that I am an alcoholic and have accepted the need for immediate treatment for alcoholism and related behavioral problems." Behavioral problems that allegedly include sending sexually explicit emails to teenage boys, former congressional pages. This from a man who made a career of protecting children from sexual exploitation.
To anybody even contemplating a sexual offense against a child, understand your life will be ruined.
He was a top supporter of the Page program.
This has been a year you will remember for the rest of your lives.
4 years ago, congratulating a group of pages while recalling dinner with one page at an expensive Washington steakhouse.
And so we proceeded to cruise down in my BMW to Morton's.
But today, one former page told NBC News that for most pages, it's a purely positive experience.
The entire time I was in the Page program, I never felt threatened. I felt very safe.
Late today, Foley's lawyer held a press conference. He said that Foley takes full responsibility for the emails and added, Foley has never had inappropriate sexual contact with a minor. He absolutely is not a pedophile. Brian?
Chip Reed on the Hill for us tonight. Chip, thank you for that. And now to the story that some are calling the war on Woodward. The White House and its surrogates are trying hard to discredit some of the claims in the new book by Washington journalist Bob Woodward about terrorism and the war in Iraq. But today, Woodward came out with some once secret documents to support his case, and he shared some of them with NBC News Chief Foreign Affairs correspondent Andrea Mitchell.
All the president's men in a state of denial today over state of denial.
Flat wrong. Absolutely wrong.
The White House issued a press release headlined 5 key myths in Bob Woodward's book. For instance, denying that Condoleezza Rice was told of a possible terror threat on July 10, 2001, 2 months before 9/11. Today, Rice, en route to Saudi Arabia, said it was incomprehensible that she would ignore such a warning. But Woodward has documents proving that a CIA briefer told Rice of an impending attack.
He said specifically, after the meeting, we did everything but pull the trigger to the gun we were holding to her head.
Is there any evidence they did anything?
A presidential order to go get bin Laden or kill him was sitting on the president's desk September 10th, 2001. So
September
they did
10th.
The day before 9/11.
Officials tell NBC News former CIA Director George Tenet did testify in secret to the 9/11 Commission about that meeting. The White House is also denying that former Chief of Staff Andrew Card tried to get the president to replace Defense Secretary Rumsfeld. But today, Card confirmed he proposed replacing Rumsfeld with former Secretary of State James Baker. And you were hearing that Republicans on the Hill had concerns about Don Rumsfeld.
I was, and I would not be bashful about repeating that.
And Card did not deny that he also talked to Laura Bush about firing Rumsfeld.
I would always solicit her counsel and ask for her to be candid, and she would frequently repeat to me some of the concerns that she heard from other people.
Woodward's documents include these talking points the president used at a national security meeting just before the war, recommending he keep the Iraqi army intact to prevent an insurgency. Instead, the army was disbanded. And the book is replete with examples of the president making optimistic statements about Iraq, contrary to far more pessimistic secret assessments. Is this a case where they're not telling him the truth, or that he is going along with putting a gloss on things?
He knows how bad it is.
A sign of how damaging Woodward's claims are is how hard the White House is fighting back. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News, Washington.
All this news out of Washington tonight leaves us with much to discuss with our Washington bureau chief and moderator of Meet the Press, Tim Russert. And Tim, let's start on Capitol Hill, this growing scandal, a damage assessment so far.
Brian, Republicans are panicked, in a simple word. They know that even if the leadership did not, quote, see the emails, there was warnings of inappropriate behavior a year ago and nothing was done. They're afraid of the consequences, and they're afraid that conservative Christians will simply stay home at these midterm elections and not support Republican candidates.
And Tim, this so-called war over Woodward, the book at least, same question.
The White House is ferocious in their response, Brian. Why? Because one of the best-known reporters in America is, in effect, laying out a case questioning the competence and credibility of the White House on Iraq. It's the last thing they want to debate 5 weeks before an election.
Tim, Washingtonians being innately political animals, there's a lot of talk, aside from these issues, how it'll all break and what the election is looking like a little more than a month away. I know there's some state-by-state race polling going on.
Exactly right, Brian. There are 10 state races for the U.S. Senate polled by Mason-Dixon, a reputable pollster. In all 10, the Democrats are either even or ahead. And these numbers, these samples were taken before the Foley story and before the Woodward book was published.
All right, we'll keep an eye on all of it. Tim, as always, thank you. Tim Russert from our Washington bureau tonight. We'll take a break, and when NBC Nightly News continues this Monday night, NBC News in-depth coverage. Our own Richard Engel on the violent streets of Baghdad today, out with the U.S. Stryker Brigade as doctors who live in fear there try to keep hospitals going. And later, the series of reports we're calling the Home Front. A small town celebrates the return of its fighting men and women and mourns some of its losses.
The Hyundai Azera. With 8 airbags, electronic stability control, and a 263 horsepower V6 all-standard, plus more interior space than a BMW 760i. It may be the most car for the money ever. It's no wonder the Hyundai Azera was ranked most appealing large car by J.D. Power & Associates.
Progresso soup. With all the ingredients you'd expect from a great soup, it just tastes better than condensed. Progresso soup, a taste of the good life.
Got too much on your plate to think about what should go on your plate? Try Delicious Ensure, a source of complete balanced nutrition. So when you can't eat right, eat smart. Ensure, nutrition for a healthier you.
I'm ready to fight my cancer.
I'm ready to begin chemotherapy.
I really am ready because I'm going to take Neulasta right from the start to help protect me from infection.
Chemotherapy can reduce your white blood cell count and increase your risk of infection, which could put your treatment on hold. But Neulasta is a white blood cell booster that can help restore your white blood cell count to reduce your risk of infection. And with a sufficient white blood cell count, your doctor may have a better chance of giving you your chemo on schedule, which doctors agree is the first step to success. Neulasta is for most cancer patients receiving strong chemotherapy. In rare cases, splenic rupture or serious allergic reactions have been reported. Report abdominal or shoulder pain or any allergic reaction to your doctor immediately. The most common side effect of this injection is mild to moderate bone pain.
I'm ready to start.
I'm ready to fight.
I'm ready. Thanks to Neulasta.
Ask your doctor about Neulasta and how you can be ready for chemotherapy.
NBC Friday. Dateline is back with an all-new To Catch a Predator. And you won't believe who showed up this time. Dateline Friday, 9, 8 Central on NBC.
Tonight, the president says he's willing to send more troops to Iraq, but retired Army Major General John Batiste tells Keith he asked and was denied. Countdown, MSNBC tonight.
We're back with NBC News in depth. This was another violent and deadly day in Iraq, filled with kidnappings and killings in Baghdad and beyond. In another attempt to control the bloodshed there, Iraq's prime minister announced that local commissions will be set up now to oversee security and will include members of every political party in Iraq. NBC's Richard Engel was out today with American fighting forces and saw Baghdad for himself in critical condition.
Surgery in a city Iraqis say is sick and dying. At a private Baghdad clinic today, Dr. Ismail Hamid has to work fast. There's not enough anesthetic to keep his patient out for long. The equipment runs on generators, and there's only 2 fans to cool the OR. But it's the dangers outside Dr. Hamid most fears.
There is many things can happen to you. From bomb explosion, car explosion, kidnapping, being assassinated.
Just today, death squads in Iraqi uniforms kidnapped 14 people at a computer store. 26 more were abducted yesterday. Kidnappers now routinely separate hostages by religion and execute them. 50 tortured bodies were found here in the past 24 hours. And the sectarian violence is increasingly damaging American reconstruction efforts. Today, a U.S. Army Stryker brigade showed us an American-built health clinic bombed this summer because it was on the front line between warring Sunni and Shiite militias.
How does it feel when you see one of your projects like this?
This is the consequence of, this sectarian violence that we have here. So it's very frustrating.
Another clinic nearby is working, serving 600 patients a day.
This is one of the few success stories in this area, a health clinic built and protected by U.S. forces and American contractors. But the staff here says this neighborhood is still so dangerous, most doctors don't want to come and work here.
For now, this clinic is intact, but they can't keep staff because of the religious war U.S. commanders here say is getting worse. Richard Engel, NBC News, Baghdad.
When Nightly News continues in a moment, how well do you know exactly what Neil Armstrong said when he first set foot on the surface of the moon? There's been some disagreement until now.
Fly me to the moon. Let me play.
In the future, everyone will protect their eyes from sun damage like they protect their skin. Transitions lenses. They automatically adjust to changing light and block harmful UV rays and glare. So don't wait until tomorrow. The danger is here today, and so is the protection. Ask your eye care professional about transitions. Insist that your lenses come with a transition certificate of authenticity.
Hey, my name is Taco, and this is my story. I build custom motorcycles. I'm working every day, leaning over, doing something. When I wake up in the morning, I'd feel joint pain, and I'd feel my hands cramping up. I just had to do something about it. I take a leave, and basically, I make it through the day. I leave, it makes a huge difference.
I feel these tingling sensations deep inside my legs.
It's a tightening feeling that keeps me from getting to sleep.
For me, it's creepy crawling. I feel like I have to get up and move just to get some relief.
My doctor said it's restless leg syndrome, or RLS. He prescribed Requip, the only RLS medication approved by the FDA. He said Requip would help relieve my RLS symptoms, even the uncontrollable leg movements that disturb my sleep. Requip helped me make peace with my legs.
Requip may cause you to fall asleep or feel very sleepy during normal activities such as driving, or to faint or feel dizzy when you stand up. Tell your doctor if you experience these problems, or if you drink alcohol or are taking medicines that make you drowsy. Side effects include nausea, drowsiness, vomiting, and dizziness. Most patients were not bothered enough to stop taking Requip. Ask your doctor if Requip can help put your RLS to rest.
If you could make a wish, what would it be?
I wish there was a way to prevent cancer.
Alzheimer's.
Obesity.
At Merck, our goal is a future free from sickness. We've already discovered vaccines as well as medicines to help fight diseases like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and tuberculosis. Now we're working to treat or prevent cancer, Alzheimer's, and obesity. So maybe one day...
I wish there was a cure for diabetes.
We won't have to wish. Merck, where patients come first.
Want to look your best this weekend? Rent a car from Enterprise for 50% off. Friday to Monday, 50% off. Most cars, most weekends, most neighborhood locations. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
This week, Today targets an invisible enemy that could be hiding in your child's school, gym, even the grocery store. Watch Today only on NBC.
They revolutionized the way we think about our genes, and for their discovery, 2 Americans won the Nobel Prize in Medicine today. They are Craig Mello of the University of Massachusetts Med School and Andrew Fire of Stanford. 8 years ago, they discovered how to turn specific genes off, opening the way for potential new treatments for diseases ranging from AIDS all the way to cancer. Turning to Wall Street today, stocks were modestly lower and very light trading for this Yom Kippur holiday. The Dow was down almost 9 points on the day. NASDAQ was off just under 21 points. To some people, it's been one of the lasting mysteries of America's arrival on the surface of the moon. And now it's been cleared up, according to researchers. And it has to do with the famous words you're about to hear once more, as uttered by Neil Armstrong after setting foot on that powdery surface.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Now, computer analysts say there's an extra word in there that most Americans perhaps do not know about. Neil Armstrong actually said that is one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. Armstrong himself says that is indeed what he said, but the word "a" went by so quickly, and after all, the radio was garbled over such a long distance, that the word "a" was lost until now. We'll be right back with a bittersweet homecoming for the men and women of the group they call Charlie Battery.
I was just getting to the good part when Uncle Ernie dropped his tongs. I'd seen that look before. It was heartburn. Before you could say duck sauce, I was there with my Pepcid Complete. I told him only Pepcid Complete starts to neutralize acid on contact and keeps heartburn from coming back all day or all night. In no time, Uncle Ernie was in Mushu heaven, and I had my eye on a spicy dumpling. Pepcid Complete, just one and heartburn's done.
Are you easily distracted? Avoiding others? Is it affecting your home life? You may be a numismatist, a collector of coins. But now there's a cure. Genuine United States Mint coins. Brilliant, pristine, therapeutic. These coin sets may cause euphoria, insomnia, and are extremely habit-forming. If you're a numismatist, now there's hope for you. Visit usmint.gov. United States Mint, genuinely worthwhile.
If there were a store in your town called Peace of Mind, would you pay it a visit? Across America, in towns big and small, there is such a place, New York Life. It starts with our values of financial strength, integrity, and humanity, and continues with our agents. So look for us in your town. You may already know our people, and we are confident that peace of mind is why New York Life is the company you keep.
A lot of people have trouble sleeping.
But they don't all have the same trouble. Some can't turn off and stay awake for hours. Others turn off right away, but wake up again later. Many people have both problems. That's why people are asking their doctors for controlled release formula Ambien CR, the latest Ambien. It's the only one with 2 layers that work differently. One dissolves quickly to help you fall asleep fast. The other dissolves slowly to help you stay asleep. Ambien CR is a treatment option you and your doctor can consider along with lifestyle changes and can be taken for as long as your doctor recommends. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic. However, like most sleep medicines, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. A good night's sleep shouldn't be an on-off thing. Falling asleep and staying asleep can make a big difference. So ask your doctor about controlled release formula Ambien CR. Remember, CR.
Coming tonight here on the Channel 4 News at 11 o'clock, you might remember these pictures, photos of mystery women taken by a killer. Now, new pictures and a lot of new questions, too. And the Disneyland robberies, 2 suspects in a Porsche, and a sneaky way thieves could steal your money. Find out exactly how. Tonight, Channel 4 News at 11. We'll see you then.
Our final story tonight comes to us from Yankton, South Dakota. It was brought to our attention by a favorite son of that proud small town, Tom Brokaw. A few months back, the local National Guard unit was mobilized, and Charlie Battery, as they are known, went marching off to war in Iraq. They came back this weekend, fewer in number and prouder than ever. Here is NBC's Bob Fall.
Finally, after more than a year, Yankton's prayers were answered. From almost everyone in this community of 14,000.
Thank you. Thanks. Every one of them need to have a thank you.
For relatives who had waited, the deployment seemed endless.
Every day, every night, you hear a car door slam outside and you're afraid it's going to be a knock at your door saying the worst has happened.
So Yankton paraded its heroes in style, in pickups or Jeeps festooned. It was joyous, but also bittersweet. 4 men in Charlie Battery were killed in Iraq. Sergeant First Class Richard Schild was Tanya Schild's brother-in-law.
It makes me so proud to know that there are people like them in this country that are willing to fight for our freedom.
Along with Sergeant Alan Kokish and Staff Sergeant Daniel Chuka, Schild is buried in Yankton, brought back home by his brother and fellow soldier, Brooks.
And I was going to go as his big brother and take care of him, you know, and it didn't work out so well.
Still, Charlie Battery feels it accomplished something, training Iraqi police.
We work hand in hand with them to see them grow and mature, to become a fighting force, help them towards us so they can eventually take their country back.
But the grievous toll has made some here wonder.
You see their families grieving, then it does make you question, you know, why we're over there, and the senselessness of seeing a friend lose her husband. It's really hard to take.
This, though, was not a day to debate policy.
If they need to be over there fighting right now, then we need to support them, even if we don't necessarily agree with war.
A sentiment reinforced during the unit's deactivation and a final roll call for the 150 who returned and those who did not.
Sergeant First Class Richard L. Shield.
Moments of pain in a day of pride.
Days like this, just, you know, that's why we do what we do.
As Charlie Battery came home, and everyone here realized anew why Charlie Battery had gone away. Bob Fall, NBC News.
Our series of reports on the home front will continue all this week. That's our Monday night broadcast. Thank you, as always, for being with us. I'm Brian Williams. Good night.
Nightly News is a presentation of NBC News. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Next, Robin Williams opens up about rehab, the secret about what pushed the Brave star to get help.
Plus, did Eva's boyfriend get caught dirty dancing with another girl?
Your LA at noon on NBC4. Set your TiVos.
What if a comedian ran for president?
I did not have sex with that woman. I wanted to.
What if he won?
Whoops.
Have you thought what the makeup of your cabinet might be?
I was thinking Bruce Springsteen as Secretary of State. A joke. The little one.
Man of the Year. Rated PG-13.
Target House is a home for families whose children receive treatment at St. Jude.
My son Lewis, at his one-year checkup, was diagnosed with a malignant brain tumor.
A lot of times when they first get here, they can't even tell me what their child's disease is because I haven't even learned it yet.
We were very shocked. We weren't thinking cancer.
Target House is a way for kids just to be kids no matter what they're battling.
It's definitely a huge source of comfort for our family. I will always be grateful and in debt to everyone here.
There's been an accident. I'm not sure where I am.
We know where you are. Help is on the way.
I'm Steve Poizner. My company created the technology that lets 911 operators pinpoint emergency cell calls. Now Jessica's Law will use similar technology to track child predators. As insurance commissioner, I'll use new technology to fight fraud and protect consumers. With new thinking, there's no limit to what we can do.
Steve Poizner, insurance commissioner. The power of new ideas.